Welcome back to the channel. My name is Lisa Elvin Stoltari, and I am a passionate genealogist and traveler. Over the last few years, I have been featuring Les Filles du Roi, the King's Daughters, and getting to know their stories a little bit better. When I started the broadcast, it was really just to honor one of my mother's great-grandmothers or one of my great-grandmothers. It's blown into all of this, and I plan on doing all 700 of them. I think we're on number 270, so we have come a long way. We've got a ways to go. Before we begin today's episode, let me show you ways you can support the channel. The first three keep you in the know: subscribe, like, and notify. The next couple of ways are ways to help the channel itself grow. We have Coffee and Patreon. We also have PayPal that you can find on my website, haverootswilltravel.com. And I also offer services to be able to do your own personal tree as well. So you can have a look at the services list as well. So with that being said, let's get started and see what Filles du Roi we are going to get to know today. Today we turn our attention to episode 270, Jeanne Servignan. She comes to us from a viewer request, and I do not have her in my files. So let's get to know Jeanne a little bit better. Jeanne was born in the town of Rerto, which is found in the Bourgogne-Franche-Comté region of France. You can see it on the left hand. And inside of that region, we have the département or county of Jeanne. And that is where she can be found. You can see that Jeanne is actually right at the very top. And it is very much the one that's closest to Ile-de-France. So I kind of like to situate it when I'm looking at where are they, especially in a region I don't have a lot of experience in. She was born in 1646 to parents named Nicolas Servignan and Jeanne Vater. The town of Rerto was developed beginning in the year about 900 AD when the abbot Richard, Duke of Burgundy, expanded his abbey to include the region of Rerto. This action was granted by the charter of King Charles on the 22nd of April of that same year, 900. Famous for its wine, particularly red wine, although it's had its own ups and downs in this industry. This is what Rerto is known for. Today the village has about only 249 people. The church where Jeanne would have been baptized is still there and dates to the 12th century. We do not know if her parents have passed away. What we do know is that she arrived on June 18, 1665. She had sailed aboard Le Jean Baptiste de Dieppe, and she arrived in Quebec, ready to start her new life. She would select, and who would select her? His name, Jean Rosary dit Le Breton. And he was born in 1643 in a commune called Fougères, France. His parents were Noël Rosary and Jeanne Aubert. Now, Fougères is found in Brittany, in the region of Brittany that you can see on the left hand of your screen. And then inside of that is Ille-et-Vilaine, which is really inland, and it is the département or county that Fougères is found in. Fougères actually means fern. So that gives you an idea of, probably what was growing when they named it. Now, there's about 20,000 people that live in Fougères, and about 90,000 in the actual area. Fougères can be seen, was created probably around the Middle Ages, and the Chateau de Fougères that you see on the left of your screen here was first mentioned around the 10th century, and then we have it built truly in the 11th by the Lords of Fougères. And it was really a fortification. It was destroyed by Henry II of England, but be rebuilt by Raoul II. There's so much history in this particular area. It really could take you months and months. Now, the church that, there were two churches at the time. There was Saint-Sulpice, which is pictured below, and Saint-Léonard. I have not been able to see a picture of that. Let us assume that this is possibly where Jeanne would have been baptized. We believe that Jean would come to New France in 1662 and was confirmed by July of 1665 at Quebec City. And so they were married on October 13, 1665 at Quebec City. Let's see where they settle. Now, I believe the family would start off in Montreal, but I do not have the records. I wasn't able to get or find them actually in the 1666 or 67 census. So if anyone has any information on that, please write to me or post it in the notes below. I'd really appreciate that. I looked for a long time. Longueuil itself was founded in 1657 by Charlemagne, who was a merchant from Montreal or Ville-Marie, and established it as a seigneurie. He named the area Longueuil after the village of Longueuil, which is today the seat of a canton in the district of Dieppe in his homeland of Normandy. His son, Charlemagne de Longueuil, built Fort Longueuil as his fortified residence, and it was constructed of stone between 1685 and 1690 and had 4 towers. Now, we can see where Longueuil is in relationship to Montreal, and we can also see the 1681 census, where we have Jean at 38, Jeanne, his femme, their children, Marie, Elisabeth, Jeanne, and Marie. They have 1 gun, 2 bêtes à cornes, and 9 arpents volants, so about 7 acres of land. Now, those 2 bêtes à cornes could have been goats, or they could have been bulls, anything with a horn. They would go on to have 6 children. Marie would marry Antoine Fournier and have 2 children, both of whom survived. Elisabeth would marry Jean Delan and have 2 children, both of whom survived. Jeanne Françoise married Pierre Pétourné and had 4 children, all of whom made it to adulthood. Pierre's mother was a fille du roi, Marie Deshaies, who we profiled in episode 102. Jeanne would then marry Jean-Baptiste Gervais and have 4 children, all of whom would make it to adulthood. Then we have Marianne, who married Nicolas Vérin and would have 4 children, all of whom would survive. We have Jean, who would die in infancy. And then the other Jean, 1683 to 1720, as far as we know, did not have any children. Jeanne would leave us too soon. She would pass away from birth complications with her last child, Jean, on February 21st, 1683. She was only 37 years old. She and Jean had been married at that time for a mere 17 years. But thankfully, by 1729, her life, although short, would provide us with 91 descendants as of that date. So she really did make a difference, even though she was with us for such a short time. Jean would pass away sometime after 1715. He never remarries. But he and Jeanne are celebrated as true pioneers of Longueuil. He would have been about 70 years old. You go to Longueuil and you go to the monument, you will see that Jean Rossery and Jean Servignan on the bottom of your screen. You can see the post that is dedicated to them, and they are listed and this is an actual the original land grants where Jean is mentioned. So I just thought that was really neat. I love this monument. It's just very challenging to try to take a picture. I swear, the next time I'm in Quebec, I will go to Longueuil and take good pictures of each of those. What a wonderful story Jeanne gave us. And I always love when I can find a pioneer that is honored on a monument like that. And that particular monument in Longueuil, I have definitely got to go and see. But her and Jean were truly there setting it up. So if ever you go to Longueuil, you know that this particular lady is fundamental to the growth of Longueuil. So we want to honor her memory. We want to thank her for all that she did, and we bless her life and her contribution to what became Quebec and ultimately North America. I also want to do shout outs for my patron supporters and subscribers. I really appreciate each and every one of you. You are truly, truly what the wind beneath my wings. And with that being said, I will say au revoir, and I'll see you on the next episode of Les Filles du Roi.